Hello, and welcome to this. I had an idea for an intro and then I forgot it. So.
Are we starting over or what?
Nope, that's what it is now. Congrats.
Okay.
All right. I've got a list of things because I'm always prepared.
Okay.
Just like that intro.
Yeah.
Definitely.
See, last time our icebreaker was the Meg because we all saw it. You didn't.
I did see it, but I didn't see it with you guys.
Yeah.
Oof.
So, icebreaker this week. Pick a scene from a project, like a book, film, anything,
Okay.
that just represents it as a whole. Like a single scene that just spells out what it's about perfectly.
What is about?
What the project, like the book is about, what the film is
It
about.
could be anything.
Just a single scene that it's
Okay.
think of it as a like synecdoche, you know, the smaller part representing the
Okay.
whole.
Got it.
So, who wants to start?
I think Tyler should.
I'll start because I'm
There
prepared.
you go.
All right. I think the sodomy massacre from Meet the Feebles, when a giant hippo puppet runs around massacring people with a shotgun, as Toad sings about getting blowjobs, pretty much sums it up pretty well.
I don't know what that is, but it sounds like a quality.
Yeah, now you want to go watch it.
Yeah.
All right, who's next? I gave you time to think. It
Nah.
was like 2 seconds.
Nah.
I think that the one scene that sums up Seinfeld, this
Oh.
TV show as a whole, is when they drop the junior mint into the guy as he's having surgery.
Yeah.
And Kramer's like trying to give Jerry a junior mint, and then he's like, "No, I don't want it," and then it falls into the guy,
Yep.
and then they seal him up. And it was pretty funny. So, yeah.
Yeah.
That's my icebreaker.
That's a good one.
That's my icebreaker.
Me too.
I was having trouble like figuring out which scene to pick. Cause
Yeah, there's so many. There's so many classics. I agree.
Now Tyler goes.
No idea.
You got it, Tyler. What book did you read last?
The last
what
book
book
that
did
I
you read?
read.
The Witcher.
No, I'm still reading that, or I'm still trying to.
Dum dum.
You a dumb skull.
All right. Well, you can think about it. What about you, Audrey?
Alright, so when Eli Wallach as Tuco is running around the graveyard and the opera lady's like, "Whoa!" And, you know, you can see his face. He's like, and he's got the wide eyes and he's
That's
looking.
true.
That just perfectly sums up humanity and greed. So
I forgot that scene, honestly.
it's such a good
I
one.
don't know these
Until
movies.
just now.
I
Good, the
don't
bad,
know
and the
these
ugly.
movies.
All right, Tyler. This is it.
This is it.
This is it. Take a bite of that red fish and use
What
it as
sums up red
brain
fish?
It's red in the shape of the fish.
power. Damn, he's
A
good.
little context for that joke is that Tyler bought a bag of Swedish fish type candies, but it's just called red fish. So it's like a
And-
really bad ripoff of.
But it's
Swedish
like
fish.
Dr. Seuss made, you know? There's also blue fish, there's one fish, there's
Two
two
fish.
Of
fish.
course.
Mhm.
Of course. So,
Dr. Seuss saved my life. He did. All right, Tyler. What book did you read last? And then just pick something from that. Easy.
The last book that I read. I feel like it was a part of a series. Can't remember.
Do you even know how to read?
No. Yes, I know how to read. I just don't remember what I read.
Smart. All right, I'll just skip you. Then.
thoroughly
That's
off.
probably a good
You,
idea.
you get
Just
you get
skip
no
it. Just forget
icebreaker.
it.
Rough. All right. Tragic.
Yeah.
That was really tragic. All right, I'm jumping right in, and you better have a response for me, Tyler. That's all I'm saying. You get two things. There's two parts to this question, and we're starting with you
Well, I'm
because you
not
just
prepared.
couldn't think of anything. What was the best film and song of last year?
What
was
came out
last year?
last year?
2017.
Yeah.
Despacito.
Please
I
no.
don't know.
Please don't
no.
bring that
Please
up.
You said
no.
best.
Can it be from 2016? Because
No. No, my
I
man.
don't know anything from 2017.
I honestly
Anything
slept
happened
through
in
2017.
All right.
Tyler,
Let's see.
go.
Let's see. I have no idea what came out last year.
Last
Definitely
year.
not The Shape of Water.
Me too.
Ah, perfect. Google wants me to look it up because it popped up.
Last year. I don't even remember what I had for breakfast today.
Last year. I don't
Sounds
remember what I
okay.
had for breakfast last year.
Oh, Baby Driver. I really enjoyed that.
All right.
2017
Good choice.
movies.
2017 memes.
I thought Dunkirk was really good.
I didn't
Dunkirk
see
was
that.
pretty
Mhm.
solid.
Yeah,
That's
I'm
probably-
gonna go with Baby Driver.
All right.
I really enjoyed that one.
What about song? Did you even hear a song last year? Because I know I pretty much didn't. What was the worst of last year? I'll give you that. This
the
one's
worst
easy.
song?
Yeah.
I don't.
Say it, Tyler.
I have no idea.
You know
was
what
it Despacito?
it was.
Okay. I didn't realize Despacito was released last year.
Was it?
Yes, it was. Yeah. See, third one on the list.
Ah.
Despacito, 2017.
Yeah, there you go. All right. How about you, Pete?
Yeah, Dunkirk was probably the best movie, I guess.
Shape of You was released last year.
Shut up.
That whole album was Divide.
Yeah, Dunkirk probably the best movie. I really don't know any music that came out last year because I listened to
here's a
all the
list.
stuff.
Yeah, me too.
Uh,
Oh yeah, just take Tyler's
yeah.
list.
I got to go. I don't. Can I say worst song?
Yeah, sure. I'll let you do that.
Despacito. Not even being sarcastic.
I'm glad it's agreed upon.
Not even, or that song from what was it? Something Just Like This by Coldplay.
I don't even know that one.
No, I'll just say Despacito. That song was pretty bad.
Smart.
I'm gonna get a lot of hate for that, but whatever.
How about you, Elijah?
Well, there are a few. I really liked The Darkest Hour, or just Darkest Hour with Gary
I
Oldman.
thought you were gonna say Darkest Corner there for a second.
Darkest Corner.
Uh-oh.
No. But
What's
that
your
was
favorite Frontier?
that was really good. I also liked War of the Planet of the Apes. I thought that was the best, or one of the better ones of the trilogy. And Dunkirk was
Yeah.
fairly artsy, so I like that one.
Fairly artsy. Me
So
too.
what about song?
Song.
Yeah.
Ooh. Hold on a sec.
Despacito.
Despacito. Yikes.
Me too.
More like suck. Alright. Hold on a sec. I'm checking the list.
Just that whole part.
There are a lot of good ones. Hold on a sec. I really like. I'm pretty sure this was released 2017. Yep.
If not, we'll
I liked.
just count it.
No, I liked Conroe. Close by Conroe. That was a very relaxing and cool song. I liked that one.
I don't know. All right, we're coming to me, boys.
Let's go, Dylan.
I totally forgot Dunkirk came out last year, but that was good. I'd agree. Best of last year, I thought Three Billboards was the best that I saw.
3 billboards.
It's pretty good. Plus there was ABBA in it, so it was like 10 out of 10.
Of course.
Songs, not to be super cynical, but it's getting rough the farther we get into this decade.
True.
Yeah.
I
Worst
agree.
was Despacito.
I agree.
Best I heard was probably that one from Ed Sheeran. I don't remember what it
Shape
was.
of You?
No, the other one.
That's the only one I
Love?
No. I don't know. Look up Divide and just read the track list. It's one of them.
Whatever.
But
somebody sure.
yeah. I was like, that's actually not bad.
Shape of You, perfect.
Yeah, that one, the second one.
Perfect.
So
It
That's what I
truly
have to say.
was perfect.
it was all right.
Almost there.
Let's not push it. Yeah.
Okay.
Interesting opinions here. Everyone hates Despacito.
Despacito.
If you don't hate Despacito, then
It's hard for me because I only listen to like old.
Yeah, me too.
What's worse, the original or the Justin Bieber version?
Both are equally,
Justin Bieber did a version?
Yeah,
Both are equally.
When?
like
insufferable.
right after.
Really?
Yup.
Both are equally insufferable.
That's fairly true.
I actually didn't know that. First time I heard that song was when we were recording the like cereal bar
Yep.
short, and it came on the radio.
Yeah, we were like, "What
We were
is
like,
this?
What is this? I thought it was really funny. I remember that. That's good
You're
stuff.
clearly not up to date on Despacito lore.
Yeah. Sorry.
Top 10 moments in Despacito.
Number 1, Despacito. Good choice. All right. And now I'm moving to a much easier topic.
Oh,
Oh, thank the Lord.
That was like a second icebreaker there, just to get your minds engaged.
All right.
Ready?
Yep.
This is going to be maybe tough. We're going with your favorite songs all time.
Of all time?
All time.
Ooh, how,
I
like,
found some new songs.
like how many?
recently.
how many songs? Like top 10?
Say top
or top 5?
5 if you
Top
can do.
5? I can probably
More
do
if you
that.
got more, you know.
Okay, I can probably do that.
All right, let me compose my list.
Compose.
Okay,
Composite.
All right.
okay.
Who wants to go
Mine's gonna be-
first?
a lot of my, all of my songs are gonna be pretty much like the same genre, cause
Yeah. Despacito better be number 1. I'm just pointing that out. So if no one's ready, I'll start.
yeah, you go.
Because I'm always prepared.
Huh.
Clearly. Number 1, Fleetwood Mac, Landslide.
Mm-hmm.
Number 2, Sympathy for the Devil.
Okay.
Number 3, Layla, Derek and the Domino. Don't give Eric Clapton credit. We all know Dwayne Allman played the guitar.
Okay.
In My Life, Beatles. Number 4.
Okay.
5, Always on My Mind, the Willie Nelson version. Just let you know. Number 6, Take It Easy, Eagles. 7, All of My Love, Led Zeppelin.
Okay.
8, I'm Not in Love, 10cc's. Yeah.
Ooh.
There's like love in all these titles. Let My Love Open the Door, Pete Townsend.
Ooh.
And
Let my
10,
love open the door.
Tuesday's Gone,
Let my love
Leonard
open
Skinner.
the door. Okay. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's pretty
You
good.
can tell how prepared I am. Non-stop.
Mm. Sorry, Rena.
I just need to think of one more.
It's tough.
I know, it is tough.
Just tough.
It's a tough.
Very
Why you gotta make it so tough, Dylan?
In the meantime, let's just remember, if you ever go see the house with the clock or whatever it's
The house
The
called,
house with the clock in its walls.
just remember that house who did it first. Talking that scene where a girl gets ground up in like a grandfather clock.
Mm.
Good stuff.
Dang, that's hot.
It is good stuff. It's my
It's
favorite
really
scene.
creepy.
It's my favorite scene.
It is. It is. It
That
is
was
good
really
stuff.
creepy.
Oh,
It's good stuff.
That was really creepy.
Yeah. Guys, disk space remains. I can continue recording for 573 hours and 56 minutes.
Yay.
Sweet.
That's a while.
We'll see.
Think of one more.
Why don't you just lay us
I don't want to be
what you
super
got now?
unbiased. Okay, I got it. Okay, I got mine.
All right. Hit us.
Alright, so I have Stairway to Heaven by Led Zeppelin,
Mm-hmm.
Iron Man by
Okay.
Black Sabbath, Master of Puppets by Metallica,
All right.
One by Metallica,
Mm.
and Peace Sells by Megadeth.
All right.
That's my list.
It's a pretty solid list.
Yeah. That is my top 5.
All right. Who's up next?
Hold on. I think I have one more.
Always one more with this kid.
Your list was good, Dylan.
Thank you. Means a lot.
He's got good taste.
Should I just put the Night Game song on my top 5?
No.
No.
You should put Despacito in the top 5.
Number 6 is Despacito.
Ooh.
Didn't quite make the top 5, but
Honorable mention.
Alright.
How many more you got,
I think,
Elijah?
Yeah,
I
like one
think
more.
I have it.
Ooh,
Let me
Tyler's
check.
got it.
Tyler, you got it?
He's got it.
1, 2, 3, 4,
My
5.
list-
Okay,
my-
so
my
this
list
isn't
is
on the
pretty
fly.
good.
This
I
is
like
this
it.
this is just on the fly. This might not be my top 5, but these are the top 5 that I came across that I really like.
All right.
So we got "Broad Ripple is Burning" by Margaret and the Nuclear So-Sos.
Okay.
Got "Gravity" by John Mayer. "Tiny Vessels" by Death Cab for Cutie.
Okay.
"The Wolf" by Siamese. And "For the Damaged Coda." I don't remember who that's by.
Redhead. Right? Isn't that who it's by?
First one. What was the the name of the first
"Broad
band?
Ripple is Burning" by Margaret and the Nuclear So-Sos.
Margaret and the Nuclear
Oh,
So-Sos.
Blonde redhead. I was close.
Margaret and the Nuclear So-Sos.
That's a funny name.
Me too.
Pranked.
When you hit the nuclear apocalypse. and you
It was 2 for 2.
Oh, it was?
It was 2 for 2.
You got more red fish.
he's got more red.
Red fish? Yo, where's those blue fish?
One fish, 2 fish.
You done?
All right.
Face, yeah.
You got it?
Yep.
Let's hear
So
it.
this is kind of as of current.
Okay.
So I got "Standing Tall" by Temanite and Jonah. The heck is his name? Jonah something.
Jonah Hill.
It's actually something like
Is
that.
there gonna be any Skrillex on this list?
Nah, because Skrillex actually isn't that good.
Bananarama?
I mean, it's banger.
That's a
Dompy Pompy?
It's been a
I know it
while.
was Bangarang.
Yeah, Jonah Hitchens is his name.
Oh, I was joking. but-
There you go.
Okay.
Dompy Pompy by Skrillex?
We got "You Don't Know Me" by Ray Charles. I like
Alright.
that one.
Hit the Road
Classic.
Jack is also a
Hit
classic.
the road, Jack. Yep. Ray Charles, I like a lot. It's really good. Let's go with "Matches" by Aaron Richards. I like the acoustic version better than the original version.
I don't know.
He's a great singer. He has such a wide range in his vocal that
yeah.
literally in some of his songs he'll sound female. It's like he goes
That's pretty
that
cool.
high. It is pretty cool. Yeah, he's really good though. I like "Follow the Signs" by Draper and Laura Brim. That's a very good collab. Laura Brim is actually a native of Boulder
Oh, yeah.
and has lived in Denver, and she's like the Monster Cat sweetheart. Everybody loves her. She's fantastic. And then "Get Up and Drive Your Funky Soul" by James Brown.
All right.
Of course. You have to have that on your
Spider-Man
list.
3 throwback here, boys.
It's actually like a great song. Though.
It is good. I like it a lot.
Like 7-9 minutes long.
Isn't it interesting how, like, once a song becomes, like, meme, like, it becomes, like, a huge meme, people start
Actually
saying that
like
they...
it, yeah.
Like, no, like, they start saying that they don't like it.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Like, like
Da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
Rain in Africa or something.
Dude, you destroyed your trash can.
Ladies and gentlemen. It's not a trash can, it's a hamper.
It's a hamper, dude.
That's pretty funny.
I wish I was recording
I'll
that.
be down here now.
You can't fix that. You fat ass. Fucking fat ass.
Good thing I don't use that. Well,
Just as a chair.
what a story.
Funny.
That's what happens when you go hard in James Brown. Just saying.
You destroy your hamper.
Pretty much. So, follow up to that question, what makes a song good? Why are those enjoyable?
Okay.
I have it.
You got it?
Yeah.
All right.
For me, I like that, like, it has, like you can hear the passion in their voices.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, I
I
agree.
also like the
Sure,
rhythm
yeah.
and style of the instruments.
Dang, he really was prepared.
Let's see.
This isn't like 2017 trying to remember stuff though, Dylan. Because all we can
I mean-
remember is Despacito and how
I mean,
bad it was.
I also like these songs because they're like there's finger picking, and I like to hear the individual notes instead of like just the strumming.
All right.
Yeah,
Well, for me,
and
like,
acoustic. I love acoustic.
Yeah, autistic. You're right.
for me, like, I listen to a lot of like heavy metal type music, and again, like what Tyler said, with like the singer really has to display like the emotion
Yeah.
of the song
Like
with his
Dio.
vocals, huh?
Like Dio.
Like Dio, yeah. Dio is a great vocalist, and just like
Dio is.
I like in
legend.
a song where there's a lot of change ups and like rhythm changes.
Yeah.
Like for example in
Like
Iron
War
Man.
Pigs.
Like in Iron Man, like it starts out slow for like half of the song, and then the solo gets really fast and like energetic, and so that's what I think. And I think also like if the song has a good message behind it or like a cool story that it's telling, then
Cool
that
story, bro.
adds another level to the song as well,
Yeah,
in my opinion. So my songs like One are really good to me
Yeah.
because it's like about
It's got an
it
interesting
tells a story
yeah.
behind it.
It's got a
So-
point.
Yeah, so that's me.
It's not just Despacito. Make me money, please.
Auto tune, Acito.
All right. What you have to say while I fix this?
I have to
trash
say that what makes a good song is if it tugs at your heart and your emotions in some form or another.
for sure.
Whether that makes you feel, like down and out, or if that makes you feel like you're on top of the world, right? And it really just ignites something in your soul and makes you feel something, whether it's a sad or happy song or an epic song, whatever. And something that has a definitive groove or atmosphere. So with groove, like something with Get Up and Drive Your Funky Soul, it's this constant sort of, it gets your foot tapping and gets your head nodding, and right. Right, it's supposed to make you, move and groove and stuff. Or if it has a sort of atmosphere more like Follow the Signs does, where it's very acoustic and open and flowy, and there is no definitive time. Even though there is, you
Yeah.
don't feel that. You don't focus on that.
It's
You
more
focus
fluid,
on
yeah.
what your ears are being surrounded by in that moment, right? And, it just amazes you in one form or another. Now, if a song makes you feel cringy, Despacito, then that's not a good thing. Sure, it makes you feel something, but that's not...
It's not a good emotion.
Right. It's like when, what was her name, sang the national
I feel like
anthem
I'm
at
being
that
ripped
baseball
off when I
game.
listen to Despacito.
You mean Lady Gaga?
No, it wasn't Lady Gaga. It was someone far worse who sung the national anthem at like a baseball or basketball game or something, and was just trash.
Cher.
I don't know. It might have been. Right. But dang, yeah, that's
Run.
that's kind of what I gotta say about that. What about you,
Bombed
Dylan?
I think it's just kind of interesting how much I thought this was going to be a really tough question, but it's a lot easier than what was good music in 2017.
Yeah.
But yeah, I definitely agree. Like, if you can classically condition yourself with something with the song, it's good. Just saying.
What do you mean?
Pavlov.
Hmm?
Pavlov.
Yeah. You know what classical conditioning is?
No.
It's like
Going into
association through
psychology.
Oh.
Well,
Mm.
not necessarily through sound, but it can be.
Okay.
No, but
Like you hear a song and it brings back a certain memory.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's
Okay,
a big
yeah.
part of it.
or like you hear a sound and you
You
get
start
hungry.
salivating.
You hear a bell and
You have a
start
seizure.
salivating.
But yeah, I definitely agree with all that. The soul, you can definitely hear if people care when they're making it, and it's not
Yeah.
just like auto tune.
Yeah.
That's
you
true.
know,
And
Yeah.
like,
have to record
Yeah.
this.
Mhm.
If there's like thought put into it, if
Right.
Mhm.
there's
If they actually have talent.
yeah, well,
So,
that's a big
Yeah,
part
like
too.
to
Yeah.
play
Mhm.
the instruments.
Mhm.
Yeah, and if they like it a lot, that's a big thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we have quite a consensus here.
Mhm.
I didn't expect that.
Yeah.
I'm kind of surprised.
What were you expecting?
I don't know. I thought it'd be a harder question.
Oh.
But
Despacito's the only good song ever, guys.
I don't think it's that hard to to tell what makes it good.
it's true, yeah.
Just like
Mhm.
But it's also hard because everything's so subjective.
true.
That's very true, too.
yeah.
So, objectively, I think it's how much effort was put in and if you can
If,
feel something through it.
Yeah. I mean, it's all very like basic on what we classify as good or not. It's just like what affects us as as a
yeah.
person is different
Same,
between
no.
each individual. It's like I don't feel anything when I listen to that, but when I listen to this,
When
even
I
though
listen
it
to
doesn't affect you,
Despacito.
right? Yeah.
Yeah,
like how this
I agree.
fucking podcast
It's
us
just
shitting on
about
Despacito.
Just title it Despacito podcast.
Despacito 2. This is it. What a poor sequel. Anyways, now what I want to rant about. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Can anyone guess what I want to rant about?
Despacito.
No, I've had enough Despacito for today. We're talking
What do you want
the
to
Despacito of film, Tyler.
The worst
Think hard.
film.
No, it's a collection.
Oh, it's a collection
The worst
of the worst
films?
Alvin and
films.
the Chipmunks.
That is true. Those are
the M. Night Shyamalan movies?
We're getting closer.
I don't know, just
Marvel.
Marvel.
Oh
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
That's what I'm here for, boys.
Okay. I'm intrigued.
Yeah. So, I'm going to give my thoughts on Marvel,
Okay.
which are painful, tragic. The fact that I went to Disneyland and when I found they changed the Tower of Terror from the Twilight Zone to Guardians of the Galaxy, I had a mental breakdown and started screaming at people at Disneyland. Carl was there, he'll tell you.
Who's responsible for this?
I just yelled at random people. So, I had a strong dislike.
Are you sure that wasn't Carl?
No, that was me that time. Casey was there too, he'll tell you.
Good old Casey.
But yeah, so I think Marvel is a piece of garbage. Not like the comics. I like some of the comics. But the cinematic universe is just like, let's take a crap and sell it for money, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. Is it just the fact that they're all connected, or is it just the stories themselves?
It's the fact that no effort or thought was put into it at all, and people call it
Wow,
masterpieces.
Just like Aragon,
Yeah.
the movie. That was so bad, it makes me want to
Well, because
die.
they're so like cookie cutter, conveyor belt. They just pump them out. There's no,
Right.
it's like the song. There's no soul. There's no talent. There's no anything.
Mhm.
It's just like, oh look, it's the same jokes over again.
Yeah.
It's someone punching each other.
The
It's
same plot.
oh look, that guy was in the other movie. This is the smartest thing I've ever seen in
Yeah.
my life.
Yeah.
And I think Iron Man started out well.
Mm-hmm.
Like when that was the first one they made, or was it Hulk? I don't know. But
No,
Iron
it was Iron Man.
It was Iron Man.
Yeah,
you're
it was
right.
Iron Man.
And I liked the original Iron Man when it came out.
Yeah.
And then they came out with Iron Man 2.
Ooh,
And
then
then
3,
three,
and then 5, and then
And then
7.
the Avengers, and then, billions of films afterwards that just got worse and worse and cared less and less as they went on because they had
Yeah.
accumulated such a
fan base.
a fan base that it didn't matter what they did, it was flawless no matter what. Because let's be honest, Black Panther was one of the worst films I've ever seen. No racism involved.
Just a,
It was just
just a little
horrible.
disclaimer.
Isn't it interesting how we have to say that in today's society?
Yeah.
I'm not being racist.
Infinity War, I thought was, they hyped it up for what was it, 10 years or something?
Yeah.
And it was the most average, boring film I've seen in my entire life. I laughed when everyone died because I was actually happy. But I know they'll be back in the next film
Yeah.
because nothing matters. There's no consequences. There's
Time
no
Stone.
there's no story.
They'll just get the
It's
time stone.
It's so
Time Stone
pointless.
OP.
Yeah.
So, I'm sure I'll come back and rant about it,
Yeah,
but
I agree.
I want to hear everyone's opinions.
Yeah, I think I agree with you mostly. I think what made, for example, like the Batman movies, like
Yeah.
Christopher Nolan, so good, was that the stories were really good.
Yeah,
They were just good. And
They were the focus.
yeah, like the stories were good, which is important.
Yeah.
You actually had to, you had to really pay attention to follow them.
Yeah, they did get
And
pretty complex.
the villains were so good and fleshed out in every single one.
Yeah,
And I think having a good villain is important
for sure. Yeah.
in a movie, especially
Not just like Purple Shrek.
especially a superhero movie, because like the Joker was such a great villain, and he was so just like this crazy guy, and he was so good. And then Thanos is just like the purple dick, and
He's
it's
like,
just terrible.
My plan is to snap.
Yeah.
Wow, why don't you go to a jazz club?
Yeah.
Wow, blowing me away with your
Yeah.
evil plans.
Yeah. And yeah, I agree. It's all it's very conveyor belt.
It's so
Very-
contrived,
very
you know.
factory made.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
just there's nothing in it.
So I agree.
Yeah.
But I will give them credit though. The acting is always good and the CGI is always good. So there is that.
Yeah, they
But-
do. They're at least they're consistent with their
Yeah.
garbage.
Yeah. Exactly.
All right, Elijah.
Agreed.
What do you think? Because I know you kind of like Marvel films, and I just
Well,
shoot
I don't
up
think
shit on
that
them
they are
constantly.
absolute trash, but I do agree with you that they are very formulaic and that nothing much is put into them.
Nothing else matters.
Right. Like Peter was saying, opposed to the Christopher Nolan Dark Knight trilogy, there were really high stakes.
Yeah,
And
you felt something.
right, and you felt like they were very high stakes, and I feel like Marvel doesn't achieve any of that.
I
You
agree.
don't really feel like there are stakes.
Yeah.
Even, with Thanos, it's like, oh, he's going to destroy half the universe. Those are stakes.
Sure,
But you
yeah.
don't feel like they're taken seriously at all
Mhm.
because they're trying to be comedic. There's way too many characters and,
Yeah.
subplot lines and different things. And I feel like, the problem isn't a big story because you can do a big story. The Lord of the Rings is very, very
It's
well
huge,
done.
yeah.
And it's a huge story. And you just have to, like you were saying, care enough to really put drama and actual stakes into your movies. Because right now it seems like they're kind of on a TV show route where there's
Yeah, it
there's
does.
there's just episode after episode.
Yeah, they're
You're like,
very
wow,
episodical.
what a happy ending, and then the season finale comes
Yeah.
and it's like, oh no, in part
Cliffhanger.
1, is everybody gonna survive? It's like, yes, of course they are.
Yeah.
Because no one really dies in this thing.
Because Disney's got to make the big bucks. you
Right.
know?
And Disney can make good movies. They have in the past.
Yeah.
And I think they just need to go back to their roots with actual stakes
Yeah.
and enjoyable characters. But they aren't so bad that I can't watch them. It's not like I'm watching, Sharknado or something. It's not like I'm watching... What are some other really bad
Human
films?
Centipede.
Yeah, Human Centipede, which is just,
Two. Rough.
yeah, and it's something, the whole cinematic universe I think can be done, but you have to do it in the right way. They
agree, yeah.
they were able to achieve that. They were able to keep it fairly consistent
Yeah.
and concrete, and you can I can follow along with this, but it's not. At some point, it doesn't become enjoyable anymore. You're
Yeah.
just like, okay,
Wow, this is
whatever.
the last film I just
right.
saw.
And recently, it has become sort of just a celebrity cameo hoot, right?
Yeah.
Where it's like, oh yeah, I know that guy. You can play this small role, and they'll do it because of money,
Yeah.
and that's basically it. And I don't think that people should do films for money. I think that people should do films for art and to move an audience.
Yeah.
you
To
know.
have a point.
Right, to have a point. And
Well, besides making money.
right, exactly.
Still a point, technically.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of films that try something like Gods of Egypt, where they spent
Oh.
$49 million on a
Something
piece of crap,
Stupid.
right? And you're just like, wow, what could we have done with that money? Instead of make a 2.5 hour piece of garbage, right? It's like, wow, how
That's a
many,
good point.
how many people could you have fed with that money? You know, how many jobs could you have created or something like that, instead of
Yeah.
you know, trying. And you know, if you try, it's like, yeah, this movie will make, you know, twice as much money, and then we can give that. Then that's a risk you got to take.
Yeah.
But at least
they're
have
never,
a story.
they're
and
never
your
actually
stakes.
doing that. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's kind of what I think about it. And I think that extended universe video games, something like Half-Life and Portal and stuff, how they're loosely connected like that.
Yeah.
I think that if you did that with films, that might be very interesting, especially if the audience doesn't know it at first.
Yeah.
You know, with Marvel, it's like
Figure it out.
everybody knows that. They're all connected.
Well, yeah.
But if you did something where film after film over the years is released and they're very loosely connected or hinted at,
Yeah.
then people might start becoming more interested in something like that.
Yeah. Almost like, I'm not a big fan of Pixar either, but they did that, like, small connections. They had, like,
Right.
was it the pizza truck in every one of them?
Yeah,
or
yeah,
something?
yeah, and different cameos and
Yeah.
Easter eggs.
Yeah.
All right, Tyler. You saw Black Panther with us, Tyler. Come on.
I don't know. I haven't seen I've only seen like bits and parts of the Marvel thing.
Smart.
Like I mean I do remember where like in the the first Avengers where they like messed up Loki's plan to destroy Earth.
Oh, foiled again.
And then
You mean
and
that
then
was
like
the
Thanos
entire
was
movie, right?
portrayed as like this larger than life villain.
Yeah.
And like he seemed like he was like a pretty badass dude then.
Yeah.
But then Infinity War was just like, whatever.
He's
like
just
there was
like
no
a
mystery
chode.
or
He's just a
anything.
big purple Loki.
He's like a he's like a purple chode.
Yeah. Nice.
Oh.
Yeah, and you were getting at something with tone there. How their tone's so like consistent, but it doesn't match.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like people are dying and they're like, "Oh, crack a pun here."
Yeah, I just
And you're
want
like,
to.
Yeah. You're like,
I just want to
dude,
add one more thing that this is subjective, but I hate the humor in the Marvel movies.
I agree for
It
sure.
just feels so
It's
forced.
yeah.
Do you like the "What are
very
those"
forced.
joke in Black
Yeah.
Panther?
No, I
right.
gagged when I heard that.
Yeah, their humor is very one-time punchline.
Yeah.
When you go back and rewatch the same
not-
movie, it doesn't become funny anymore.
Yeah, it's
It
not
just
smart.
becomes a very waste of time dialogue, waste of line.
Yeah.
And you know, that even goes like the same for some of the story and the tension, right? You don't feel it anymore.
Yeah, you see it once and
Right.
it's like done. One and done.
Right, because the
Pump
great
and dump.
the great films can make you laugh multiple times after seeing, you know, stuff
Yeah.
like Groundhog Day and Quick Change. No matter how many times you see it, you still laugh. You know it's coming, but you
Big
still
Lebowski.
laugh. Or when you watch
Those are good
something
movies.
like
Seinfeld.
Seinfeld, like
10 out of 10.
you know, like The Green Mile or Schindler's List, you just end up feeling that same
This pin.
impact over and over and over again.
That's
and-
2 more people, Elijah.
There's 2 more. This pin. 2 more. Why did I keep the car? Right? Yeah. So that's kind of what Marvel fails at.
Yeah, they're very one-time
Yeah.
kind of. Oh, look, there's a big purple guy punching people. I will never watch this again in my life. And if you do, I'm worried for your mental state.
Yeah. Agreed.
Yeah, there's a lack of depth, I think, in their jokes, in their story, in their characters. Nothing feels like very fleshed out.
Mm-hmm.
Another big problem I have is all the characters are the same. You know, they try and make something else, and then it turns out it's just, you know, this arrogant guy who cracks puns all the time, like Tony Stark and the guy with the cape and the magic stuff.
Vision.
Doctor Strange.
Yeah, that guy, and you know, Spider-Man and
Well, that's
They're
what
all the
Spider-Man
same
is
character.
supposed to be, though.
yeah, no, I
True.
get Spider-Man. That's
Yeah.
what he is, but
Yeah.
they all
Yeah,
become
they're all become Spider-Man.
and the Guardians of the Galaxy guy. They're all
Yeah.
they're all just the
fucking
same
same.
character, you know. And there's no
Right.
arcs, you know,
Mm.
and they feel very
Character
out of
arcs.
character at times. Like when watching Infinity War, when the Guardians guy like was like, "Don't take the glove off Thanos" or whatever he did.
Oh yeah.
Like, why did he do that? It
Yeah.
felt so like contrived, just to move the plot forward. There's no character-driven motive, and I don't know. They feel so repetitive and just empty, lifeless. Like it's Weekend at Bernie's if it was a film, you know? Well, it is a film, but if you're dragging around like a corpse and like, look, it's entertaining.
Beating a dead horse.
But yeah, exactly. It's just the same thing over and over again.
Yeah.
And like you watch Infinity War and you're like, oh, Spider-Man dies, and then you see next year, oh, Spider-Man 2 is coming out. You know? What a surprise!
Yeah.
There's just no stakes. There's nothing. It's not important. You know. There's no reason for it to exist.
Well,
This is a big boy.
that was a long rant.
I have to rant. You know. It's the same thing with like Harry Potter. You know. Don't bring that up.
Harry Potter.
That'll be another hour.
Jesus.
You were
That's
talking
Harry
about Lord of the
Potter.
Rings. Let me just tell you, top 2 Peter Jackson films, Brain Dead and Meet the Feebles. Confirmed. 10 out of 10. Greatest films ever made. Not really. They're good, though. What else do I have to complain about? Okay, then let me just end it with this thought. What other film franchises or films does set you off? Like, what do you have to rant
Like
about,
that
you know?
pissed me off.
Yeah. Like, for me, it's Marvel and Harry Potter.
Harry Potter pisses me off. The new Jurassic World movies.
I haven't even seen those.
They just feel
They're
like
not
they-
worth your time.
I
just
didn't
feel like
even
they
like
don't need
Jurassic
to
Park,
exist.
so you know I'm not gonna like those.
No, they're terrible. They're really bad, and they suck, and they don't need to exist.
Yeah, that's a lot of current
Yeah.
things.
Oh, that was nasty.
Thank you.
I think that's about it for me, though.
All right.
New Jurassic World movies suck.
What are you complaining about over there, Tyler, huh?
I don't complain about movies. I don't watch movies.
You don't complain about
He just
anything.
watches
You're the
porn.
nicest kid
Tyler,
on the planet.
what's your least favorite porn you've ever seen?
What?
Is it Batman versus Spider?
No, that's the best one he's ever seen.
Oh yeah, the DC movies too.
Yeah, they're very
Those are
similar.
so trash.
Yeah.
I just have a better disposition towards those because I actually like the characters, like from the comics.
I actually like the comics.
But the movies do suck.
The DC
So-
comics are really good, and the characters are good, but the movies suck.
Yeah, I've never liked Marvel as comics either, so maybe that's why I hate it so much as films. I just thought the characters were like discount DC. Tony Stark's
Yeah.
just Batman with a
Batman.
shinier suit.
Pretty much.
How about you, Elijah? What you got brewing in your skull that makes you tear
I
your
don't-
brain out?
I don't really like a lot of the times movie adaptations of book series in general.
Yeah.
So, you know, all the Hunger Games movies, Divergent movies, Maze Runner movies.
Oh, so like the
So
kind of
trash.
teen
yeah,
genre.
teen genre. I mean, yeah, and it's
Young
not only
adults.
that. Sometimes, just like it's mainly with like book series rather
see,
than
yeah.
standalone books. I think some of that, the standalone element, is what's missing a lot of times
Yeah, 'cause
today.
they try and
Because everybody's wanting to make
connect it.
sequels
Yeah.
just because the first one was successful, and I'd just say, all right, do a new story, do
Yeah.
a whole new world story. I mean, you know, stuff like that in order to engage the audience, right?
yeah.
And they can be, like I said, in the same universe if you take it at a different turn, right? So a good example is the Cloverfield movies. Because the first one was found footage, you know, aliens invading, you know what's going on, and it's a style of movie, right?
Yeah, for sure.
And then 10 Cloverfield Lane is more of a 3-person drama where
it's like a psychological
yeah,
thriller.
it's more of a psychological thriller, and you know it was acted very well, shot very well, and you can really feel the tension when you know see John Goodman's character be a total creep with his acid vat, right? And you know you can do stuff like that because it's something new,
yeah.
but it's still in the same sort of you know world.
And that's like you're almost like it's connected, but it's not
Mhm.
like.
It's not.
Yeah, it's not the
It's
same
not
thing.
really blatant.
How'd you feel about the Cloverfield paradox?
I didn't see that.
I
I don't even know what that
I didn't
is.
have an
It was
erection
rough.
after that for like 2 weeks.
It was rough.
It's rough.
But see, you say that, and so it's just interesting how you really liked Lord of the Rings. Of course, it's really well done adaptation of the book series. How'd you feel about the Hobbit adaptations?
It was not as good.
'Cause those gave me aneurysms.
I don't think it needed to be that
Three
stretched
films.
out. Right. It
Yeah.
didn't need to be that stretched out. It really could have been. It could have been 2 films.
I think it could have been one.
It could have been one.
Maybe
and it
like
could have been
4 hours,
2.
but I think
Right.
it could have been one.
Right.
And it was so inaccurate too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was not very accurate to the book. That's true.
The last film was actually really bad.
Yeah.
I thought.
It was just a 2-hour fight scene.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny,
But
but
it was not good.
you know, they're just, those the Hobbit felt like more of a CGI fest
For sure. Yeah.
than storyline.
characters.
Right. And the thing about The Lord of the Rings, as opposed to the Marvel films, is that The Lord of the Rings is one story.
Yeah.
It's not 5 different stories
That you're trying to
strung
make
into one.
fit together.
Yes. If you're gonna write something or make something that you want to connect, you should make it all one story first.
Yeah.
So that then you can break it apart into smaller things, and then people won't be so mad at it, right?
Yeah.
With The Lord of the Rings, he shortened it into the theater release versions and had his extended versions. And when you watch the extended
version's the only version.
right, when you watch the extended versions, you're like, oh, all these details actually add to the story and make it better, rather than
Sometimes.
Right, sometimes I guess.
Sometimes.
rather than it being like, why was this necessary?
Yeah.
And this wasn't needed at all, right? And I don't need this extra smaller plot line or detail or whatever.
Yeah.
It fits into the story because it was meant to be that way.
Uh-huh. I find it really interesting how Peter Jackson's they kind of quote him as like, oh, it's a 4.5 hour movie. Peter Jackson must have directed it.
Mhm.
But the 2 Peter Jackson films I would recommend are like 1 hour and 30 minutes each.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's funny.
Right.
But that was early in his career, I guess. So
Yeah.
I guess it's
I
changed.
do like shorter films sometimes.
Yeah.
Like hour and a half length movies are pretty good. It doesn't bore the audience too much. Now,
Yeah.
if you have your 12-hour fest, you have your 12-hour fest. I'm still invested in
Yeah.
the story.
If
It's
it's
all
good.
about the story, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then sometimes you feel like at the end of a movie, you're like, oh, well, that's it. I guess I never get to see what happens after that,
Yeah.
right? And that's kind of what
Then it's
you
like too
want for
short.
an audience, right? But you don't want it where it's like, oh yeah, we'll just make a sequel and fulfill their needs. You don't need to do that. You need to
Not
let
always, yeah.
sometimes you need to let just the audience's imagination run wild and then have
Exactly.
them have their fan fictions.
Have their
Uh-oh.
porn.
Mickey Mouse, guys.
Uh-oh.
No.
What do you got to say over there, Tyler?
Literally nothing.
Sounds about right. So what's your favorite calculus idea, Tyler?
Area under
No
the
one
curve.
no one wants to hear that.
Integrals.
I don't want to hear that. That's all I got for
Is that it?
this. Yeah, and then I'm just ending by spinning the wheel of pain.
All right, spin it.
Uh-oh.
I don't have an actual wheel.
Well,
Do something.
Well, then, what the hell?
Yeah, let me
Just go on wheeldecide.com.
You're right. You're right. Is that a real thing?
Yeah.
Wheeldecide.com. Wow, it is. This is rad.
Rad and Brad.
Exactly. Vote Brad Boyle.
Brad Boyle.
Mm.
So the Wheel of Pain, everyone, has got a selection of films, books, and music on it that are rough.
Uh-oh.
All right.
Rough.
Well, that's it.
Yeah.
And then what?
And then I spin it, and
And
that's what's coming next, boys.
Fantastic.
The Fantastic Four was bad.
I never. Oh wait, which one? There's like 60, isn't there?
The
No, there's
newest
only
one.
2.
There's 3.
No,
3?
there's the old ones.
There's
and then
4.
There's the newest one.
Because there's the one
Yeah.
from like
Oh yeah, the
80s.
the 80s. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
There's always 10 of each.
True.
All right, cool. And it's spinning. It's spinning, everyone.
That is so fascinating.
Thank you.
Oddly
It gets spin
satisfying.
faster.
Hold on. All right.
Tyler, you
We-
messed
we-
me up.
I hope
It's
did.
reached a decision, and it's Peter Jackson's first film,
What is
which
it?
is rough.
What is it?
Bad Taste. It's about alien
Is
animals.
it a bad?
What about
taste?
bad movie?
I've seen about half of it, and then I had to turn it off. So
Is it about bad?
When your
Foods?
audience walks out of the theater.
Is it about having bad taste?
I mean, maybe I'll rewatch it and it'll be great, but who knows? And anyone got anything to say?
Never heard.